Hi.
Hi, Jeff. Oh, I can't hear you. Hold on.
That's
Oh.
because I'm muted. Yep.
I cannot hear you.
Still? Hello?
It says your microphone's off. It says we're recording.
Yep. How about now? Can you hear me?
We don't know how to use any of this equipment because nobody has ever, I mean, they gave us an email that said what to do, but it doesn't ever work. We haven't had it successfully work a single time that we've had a meeting here.
Really? Oh, okay.
Cannot hear you at all. Hold on. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see. I'm going to press all these buttons. Okay, now say something.
Hello?
Hello.
Okay.
So I'm seeing you here. I'm not seeing anything on the big screens. Do you know if something's supposed to come on the big screen?
I've never tried to use that system. Are you using the computer or are you using the the white plastic thing next to it?
Try to share content. We're going to try to share content and see if this works. Hey, did you get my email about the changing the committee structure?
I did. I haven't. Well, so
Hi,
let me
Sally.
think. Oh, I'm on. She can't hear you. I'm on AirPods. Yeah.
Tell her I said hi.
I will do that. Yeah. She's on her way out the door. She's on her way to play tennis. So let me think. Yes, there was a meeting about the. Was there a meeting? I think were you at the meeting about? There was a committee of committees. There was a meeting of chairs about some of the options around it. I think that's the last I've heard of it. Were you at that meeting?
No, I wasn't. But then I got an email that there's going to be another one. So
okay,
I'll try to go to that one. But I also asked for minutes from that meeting, but I didn't get any minutes from it.
okay. I'll see if I can. I'm not sure if I can find those or not.
Okay, that's all right.
So that
I think we're gonna call the meeting to order here in just a little bit as soon as I can get Andy to sit down.
Okay.
Do you think I should close the door so we don't have people walk in? I'll be right back.
Can you see any of us?
No, I don't see anything.
Oh.
I see a panel that says schoolhouse, but there's no camera feed.
Unable to connect.
I see Lucy connecting to audio. Hi, Lucy.
I tried to turn the camera on.
Hi,
There's
Lucy.
Lucy.
Hi there. Sorry I'm late.
We don't
No
know how to
worries,
turn the camera on, so
I've been in
Yeah.
that situation. Yeah.
Do you have a laptop there or just the
we have the laptop here.
did you log into the Zoom link through the laptop?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Are you seeing Zoom on the laptop?
Yep.
Okay.
But the big screens are not working and the owl does not seem to be turning its head.
Your camera's not. I'm not seeing any feed
all right.
from the actual
We're
schoolhouse.
here.
Yeah.
We can see you, so that's fine.
Okay.
Bonnie's gonna touch a whole bunch of buttons and see if that works. Do we have a quorum? I think we do, because without Yvonne.
So it's recording, but I don't know where.
Bonnie's gonna.
Oh, okay. Now you're okay. You have to mute that laptop that comes with the system. You have to mute every time you do anything on it. Apparently it unmutes for some reason. So now I'm seeing schoolhouse, but I'm just seeing your camera. Your video is not, or you didn't turn the video on. Bye. Oh, I see you. I see you. I don't hear you now, but I see you.
Sorry, we're not, we're just learning the system.
Okay, I will tell you from many comments I've gotten, you have to hold the cameras in the schoolhouse really close to your mouth.
Cameras in the schoolhouse.
The
Sorry,
microphone.
the microphones. Did I say cameras? Oh my God, I'm
Testing, 1,
tired.
2, 3. Can you hear me now?
That's much better. That's much better. Okay. Okay, good work. I don't think I've ever actually tried to run it from there, so
Oh,
you're a step ahead of me. That sounds perfect, Andy.
This is the Nature and Science Committee, so we better figure this out.
Focus on the nature.
All right, we're going to call this meeting to order. It sounds like a rock concert in here. It's so unbelievably loud. All right, it is 5:11 p.m. Let's do roll call, shall we? Andy Brown. Here.
Here.
Yeah, he's here. Bonnie Crater.
Here.
Brooke Coffey attending. Teddy Park, absent. Yvonne Trice, absent. Linda Millard, our new member, also absent.
Okay, help me out with that name.
Pardon?
Help me out with the.
Oh, Linda
Mhm.
Millard, MILLARD.
Thank you.
Right here. Right there. She's on our new header. You see we have a new header.
Got it.
All right. Oral communications for items not on the agenda.
So Brooke, actually, I can give you guys a quick update on the committee meetings now that I think about it, because I do understand kind of what's going on. So I'll explain that quickly to
Great.
you. And you can, if you have any questions. So the main thing that, so Craig Taylor and Sarah Wernikoff are kind of leading the effort on this. And what they wanted to do is look at all of our committees, and the main thing they're looking at, I think, is just trying to figure out if any of our committees could not be Brown Act committees. Because as you know, the Brown Act is rather cumbersome and can be hard to makes it hard to get work done. And so they were kind of going through different committees and deciding if it makes sense. I mean, there's advantages and disadvantages to it. So what would happen is because the council appoints members to all committees as a whole, we do it through the consent agenda at our meetings. You're all Brown Act committees, but we could basically, members could be appointed by the committee chair and basically approved by either the mayor or 2 members of the council. So it's not the full council. And then the group wouldn't have to be a Brown Act committee. And that would sort of, I mean, it would change your status a little bit. I think you'd be able to do everything you do normally. It just you wouldn't have to abide by the Brown Act. So you could sort of meet whenever. I don't see any reason why we couldn't continue sort of having a budget for you. It's my understanding. And I'll be honest, I'm not sure if there's any other kind of legal or technical ramifications for it, but I'd be happy to find out if you can. But that's like the main restructuring they were thinking of. And part of this is just the fact that we have so many committees, and they've actually sort of, it's because our Brown Act and staff has to sort of clerk for them and things, it becomes this big sort of, it's getting very difficult to sort of attend to just the purely bureaucratic needs of all the committees. And so we're trying to think if this might be an easier way for committees to get their work done without having to do meetings in the Brown Act, and still sort of achieve the goals they want. So, have the events and everything, but maybe just be able to sort of meet whenever you want and not have to notice everything.
Okay, great. Thank you, Jeff.
Sure.
All right. Let's approve the minutes. Would anyone like to make a motion?
Can we read them first?
You need a copy? I printed a copy.
I got it. I'd like to make a motion.
All those in favor? All those in favor? Aye. Aye.
Approving the meeting minutes?
Andy, would you like to approve the minutes from our last meeting? Would you like to approve the minutes?
I do approve.
All right,
Aye.
great. Thank you. New business. Lucy, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me. Yeah, so my name is Lucy Neely. I'm the chair of the Race and Equity Committee, and I just wanted to talk to you about the town land acknowledgement. which you may or may not have noticed is now at the bottom of committee agendas. So I'll read it in a sec, just so we can get on the same page. But yeah, basically, this is something the Race and Equity Committee was working on. The town actually had a land acknowledgement already, and then we updated it. And it was passed by the council at the end of 2022. And part of that was that it was going to be on committee agendas as opposed to like being read at every meeting. And so it rolled out onto the committee agendas in early 2023, and the rollout was a little clunky. There was like some transition in our committee, some transition in the town council. So, you know, there were some little communication deficits potentially about it appearing on committee agendas. So some committee members were like, oh, what's this? And, you know, there was just a little, what's the right word? Concern.
Pushback.
Some pushback. Yeah. Not from a lot of people, but from a few people. But I think there's certain town council members that, you know, want to be very attentive to moderate levels of pushback and just want to check in on this. So I am going to each committee and just wanting to check in about this land acknowledgement and get your sense of it, pulse of it. It might be modified, it might not, but just really trying to get a sense of it from town volunteers to see if we were to modify this in any way, you know, like what would those modifications be that would help it to feel more representative of like more town committee members in general. So I'll read it, and then I'd love to hear any questions from you, or just like any comments, or, you know, it doesn't have to be super thoughtful, but just even off the cuff, just your impressions or questions or comments about it. So the land acknowledgement reads: the town of Portola Valley acknowledges the colonial history of this land we dwell upon, the unceded territory of the Ramaytush Ohlone, Tamiya Nation, and Muwekma Ohlone, who endured a human and cultural genocide that included removal from their lands and their sacred relationship to the land. Portola Valley recognizes that we profit from the commodification of land seized from Indigenous peoples and now bear the ecological consequences. We seek to understand the impact of these legacies on all beings and to find ways to make repair. There it is.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I just thought I'd share. all
Yeah,
of
yeah.
it.
Thank you, Jeff. Yeah, so really just, you know, trying to hear from every committee, get your feedback, and hear what you like about it or what you don't, any suggestions or questions in terms of, you know, possibly modifying it to be something that represents Portola Valley a little more.
Well, I personally, I think it's a wonderful acknowledgement of the, you know, history of the people that lived here or potentially still live here. I like it. The first thing that comes to mind is any liability that the town would assume in terms of, you know, being sued or whatever by making the statement. So
Yes.
that would be a concern.
To answer that, I'll point out that this was actually run through, I mean, the council approved this. You know, we had 2 different discussions of it, I believe, including with our attorney, and we always have our attorney present. And these are very common, these land acknowledgements. And no, they do not, you know, there's really no basis, there's no liability here, there's no basis for a lawsuit.
Yeah, there's no, that's a concern other people have expressed as well, but as far as I understand, there's no precedent for any sense of liability. But, you know, even on an emotional level, it's interesting to consider. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, you don't have to give me any feedback. I'm just trying to check in with every committee. So no pressure, but just, yeah, any suggestions or comments or questions?
I trust the work that has been done by your committee and the town council to look into it. So you have my support.
Yeah, me too.
Cool.
And I'll point out that your Nature Insight. Race and Equity spent quite a bit of time sort of researching this to make sure that this was, I mean, it's, you guys, Lucy can speak to this, but you guys put a lot of effort into making sure that it was accurate. Just the history there, as brief as it is. So,
I'm
Yeah,
curious if,
that's
I'm
good.
curious if Woodside or some other towns are doing something similar. Or if we're going to be the role model for other surrounding communities. Just to
I'm
think
pretty,
about. not just
I'm
in-
pretty sure Woodside's not doing this.
yeah. I
I'd be
think
very,
there's,
very surprised.
in terms of small municipalities, it might be a little bit of an early adopter thing going on.
Thank you, Lucy.
Yeah, thank you for taking the time with me and giving me your feedback. And thanks for your work you're doing for our community.
Yeah, and thank you for working on all this, because these are important items.
Yeah, pleasure.
Thanks, Lucy.
Bye for now.
Take care.
All right, the next item on the agenda is to welcome Linda, our newest member. However, she's not here this evening. So, Linda, if you are watching the recording of this, we look forward to seeing you at a future meeting. Okay, so the next item on the agenda, there is a meeting of the committee chairs to discuss the proposal of simplifying and clarifying committee operations on the 31st of this month. And so I was looking to see if there was anybody who would be interested in going to that as a backup if I am not able to do it. I'm able to do it right now, but I just, I wonder if it's something that's that important for us to be attending. Maybe Jeff, you can speak to that. How much do we actually need to be involved for this conversation that's happening at the town council level?
I think, I mean, it's sort of, I don't think there's, I think at some point, you as a committee will have to make a decision about whether you want to sort of move away from, not be a Brown Act committee. But that decision is always going to be your decision. If you wanted input or sort of more understanding of it, I think it might be helpful to just understand more. I don't know all the implications, so I'm playing a little bit of telephone. I'm not playing it very well. So the one consequence would be just maybe you might be missing some information. My guess is that you'd have a chance to review this with one or more council members if you can't make the meeting, as it moves forward. I was just looking to see if I could find the maybe recording somewhere. I'm looking at the town website just to see if there's a recording of that meeting, of the first meeting, but I'm not seeing it. So I'd say it's not. I mean, I don't think it's not going to kill you to miss it. It might be at some point sort of helpful to get a summary from Craig or Sarah, since they're running it, and they're a subcommittee so that we're not for Brown Act, so that I don't know much about what's going on because I can't sort of talk to them about it.
So
Okay.
the alternative to being a Brown Act committee is to be a staff committee, right? The committee would serve at the pleasure of the staff. Is that correct?
I'm actually not sure, because somebody else brought up this thing about committees becoming sort of nonprofits, which sounds really complicated actually, but the short answer is I'm not sure. It might be, it might be something where you'd be appointed by the committee chair and a subset of like a council member or two council members, which changes things in a way I'm not entirely sure about, honestly.
I personally feel like we don't take too much of the staff time for our committee. So if we could keep our committee the same,
Okay.
that would be my preference personally,
Does the
instead of
staff
becoming.
perceive that we're a big burden to them?
Not that I know of. Haven't specifically asked about you. I mean, we have these 17 committees, which is a lot. And I mean, honestly, some committees are I think you were a very small burden compared to some other committees. I'll put it that way.
That's true. Okay.
Okay, great.
Um,
We'll look into that.
so.
Okay. If you can send someone, great. If not, don't worry about it. We'll make sure that you get the information you need.
Okay, well, I'll plan on going right now, and if I'm not able to make it and nobody else is, then we'll get the minutes and get an update at the next one. Thank you, Jeff.
Okay. No worries.
All right, so for the next item, I was proposing that in lieu of a summer event, we maybe post to the forum some of our previous wildflower bingo and the information that we did via Zoom, but we have all of the information about on our website, so we could give links to that to get people involved with going out and looking at the wildflowers that are in their backyards, because this is a good year for it.
Yep.
But it wouldn't take much more effort and time on our behalf, since we're all, since we don't have much time individually. How does that sound?
So what you're proposing that there's links and so on our webpage.
Right.
Right.
Well, there already are links
Yeah,
on
there's
our
links,
webpage. So we
yeah,
would just
there's-
post it to the forum saying, you know, here's a reminder of what it should be blooming this week.
This
So,
month?
yeah, this month.
Mhm.
Yeah. Does that sound like a good idea?
I think it's a great.
I
idea.
can post some
Yeah.
things on the forum for that.
Yeah.
Just so that
Is that
we're,
something that you would do?
yeah,
you
I
do
think because that's once a month, so
Huh?
I think that would be easy. It's just making a link. It's not planning an event or, you know, doing anything besides just posting information that's already out there and encouraging people to go out on their own and take a look at the nature in their backyard. Okay, great. Other business.
Can I get a clarification on the council members who are exploring the committee structure?
Yeah,
Craig and
Craig
Sarah.
Taylor, Sarah. Yeah.
Craig and
Sarah.
I forget Sarah's last name.
Warnikoff.
Wernicke, right.
All right, so for other business, I propose that we cancel or postpone our compost day, our public event, in review of not having enough people to help make it come to fruition. I do think that what we could do is host the compost pickup. So we're still able to get either bagged compost or bulk compost. So I would rather get bulk so that there would be less plastic produced in this small event, but we wouldn't have, you know, tons of speakers come in. We wouldn't need tables. We wouldn't need to staff everything. I could be there to help. You know, there could be a flyer talking about compost, but it wouldn't be a large event, but it just would be getting local compost out to our citizens. How does that sound?
Can you talk,
That sounds good. Okay, Bunny.
can you talk a little bit?
Right. Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about okay, so someone would bring compost that they have?
So Green Waste has already said that they can bring either their bagged, which they've done before, or
Uh-huh.
they could bring it bulk. So I would propose that they drop it off in bulk. And then whoever wants to get it in town, whatever citizen wants to get that, they would bring their own containers. So similarly, how do we do the sand pickup? How there's a drop of sand and people will come and, you know, put it in bags or put it in buckets.
Uh-huh.
So we would just, you know, there would be a really simple flyer or information that would be posted on the forum and or our webpage, our link on the town website, just talking about the benefits of compost. But we wouldn't have to have a lecture, have to reserve any rooms, have to rent any tables, have to clean up afterwards, et cetera, et cetera.
So when Green Waste comes and brings the compost, do they bring it, it's in a truck?
It
Or is
was.
bagged,
It
or is
was in a shipping container last time. They dropped the shipping container off similarly how they did
Uh-huh.
for the bulk waste. There was a shipping container. They dropped it off on the Friday last time and all the bags were in it last time.
Mhm.
So this time it would be probably a shipping container with the bulk compost in it that they would drop off. They would probably drop it off during working hours on Friday. And then we would have the non-event on a Saturday for the compost pickup.
And would we need to staff that event? Like have someone here? to,
Yeah,
like,
but I
provide,
could easily do that. I could be by a container
like, all day?
from 9, no, it would only be from 9 to 12. I
How-
mean, it was gone within an hour last time. So.
How,
it went
how big a
really, really quick.
container are we talking
It-
about?
It was this shipping container, the same one they did last time.
I don't remember what the size was. I don't,
So similarly, you know where the food truck is right now? The
yes.
Rolly Roti, where the Rolly Roti
yep,
food
yep.
truck goes. So
Yeah.
that's where they dropped the shipping container last time. And it says green waste on the side, and then it has a little lift door and all the bags.
Are you talking about
and
like a
pallets.
shipping container, like a, you know, like a 20-foot long shipping container, like a,
It was a little bit shorter than that, but it was, you know.
okay.
probably
I guess
the
I just
size of
remember
a
just
dump truck
making
or
sure
something.
that it's so we have room for it, so it's not going to take up too much space in the parking lot or sort
Well,
of be in the,
they've done it every year before, so.
oh,
my
okay,
guess is-
okay,
And this was, you know, the email came from the town saying, hey, do you still want to do compost? Like,
Right.
I don't want to have an
Okay.
event, but I'd love to have compost for everybody in town. So
Okay.
this time, hopefully doing it without so much plastic.
great. That sounds good.
All right.
Okay, so do we need to pick a day? You want to try to look at the calendar? Yeah.
Yes, let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it. Let's look at, I believe, when you're looking at the town website, July did not have any Saturday events.
Okay.
So I would propose not doing it the Saturday after the 4th of July, but possibly the following.
Which would be the 15th.
Does that sound good to everybody else? I'll check with the town and see if that's okay for a compost drop.
Mhm.
That sounds great. Yeah.
And then we'll post on the forum.
We could still call it compost day.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then I'll make a simple flyer of the benefits of compost. But we won't be having outside speakers come. We don't need to coordinate a huge event. Andy, does your calendar in July look good? July 15th, does that look good on your calendar? July 15th, does that look good on your? July 15th? Will you be here July 15th? Okay, great. All right, great. We'll check on that date.
Okay.
Ooh, you could be there and get some compost. It's just a simple compost pickup and encouraging other people in town to use compost. Okay, great. Right, that's all I have on the agenda for this evening.
Okay.
Congratulations, Jeff, in getting the thing passed last night.
Thank you. Thank
Oh,
you.
I know it's
Yeah.
big. I know it's a big struggle. And
Yeah, it's a relief.
I'm 100% behind you.
Thank you. Thank you. Chris
No,
was
it's
there
really
last night, so appreciated that. And
Yeah.
a lot of people showed up. It was actually really, it helped a lot. So,
Yeah.
but thank you. Thank you for the congratulations. We'll move onward then.
Yeah, it's a major milestone.
Yeah.
All right, so is there a motion to adjourn the meeting? In a record time 5:34.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
All right, all those in favor?
Our next, yeah,
Our next meeting is July
13th.
13th,
13th.
just before compost day.
All right, I think that's why I
Okay.
had July 15th in my brain.
Sounds good. Okay. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Chad.
Let me know if you need anything. I will talk to you soon.
Okay, thank you, Jeff.
Okay. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Great.